Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anne Marie Bortz, and I help buyers and sellers navigate the Citrus County real estate market with data-driven insights that you can actually use. So today we're diving into the February 2026 market update, and I've got some really exciting news to share with you. We're seeing mortgage rates at nearly 3-year lows, strong buyer activities, and some fascinating trends that could impact your buying or selling decisions right now. So whether you're thinking about buying your first home, selling your current home, or you're just curious about where our local market is headed, stick around because I'm breaking down exactly what's happening in Citrus County and what it means for you. And hey, if you find this information valuable, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss next month's update. So let's dive in. All right, so let's start with the big picture. In January alone, 202 homes went under contract in Citrus County. That's really solid activity, especially considering this is typically the slower season for real estate. But here's the headline that should grab your attention. Mortgage rates are hovering around 6.5%, and that's the lowest we've seen in nearly 3 years. Think about that for a second. If you were priced out of the market when rates were at 7 or 8% back in 23 and 24, your purchasing power just got significantly better. And if you've been a homeowner that are sitting on the sidelines thinking, I can't sell because I have 3% mortgage, well, that psychological barrier is starting to break down. We're seeing what I call a dual unlock effect. Buyers who couldn't afford to buy are now coming back to the market, and sellers who were locked in by their low rates are finally willing to make a move because 6.5% doesn't feel as painful. The result? We've got adequate inventory across most of the price points, creating what I've called a balanced market with strategic opportunity for people on both sides of a transaction. Now let me show you where the real opportunities are. One of my favorite metrics to look at is days on market, or what we realtors refer to as DOM, because it tells us exactly how buyer behavior is playing out in real numbers. And here's where it gets really interesting. You think the most affordable homes wouldn't sell the fastest, right? Wrong. Homes priced between $250,000 and $300,000 are averaging 90 days on market. That's 3 months. But properties that are priced from $700,000 to $800,000, they're moving in about 52 days when they're priced correctly. So that's half the time. So what's going on here? Well, a few things. Buyers in higher price ranges tend to be more qualified. They've got their financing lined up. They know what they want and they're ready to move. Meanwhile, that lower bracket might be dealing with some financing challenges, first-time buyer hesitation, or frankly, the quality of the inventory just isn't as compelling. So here's the bottom line. Pricing strategy matters more than ever. It's not just about listing your home, it's about listing it at the right price for the current market conditions. So let's talk about where the action really is. When I look at January sales data, there's a real clear winner, and that's the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. This is the sweet spot of our market right now. It's where we're seeing the highest volume of transactions, the most showings being scheduled, multiple offer situations when the homes are priced right, and the fastest closings. So why? This price point hits the perfect combination. You've got quality inventory available, buyers have the purchasing power to afford it, and sellers in this range tend to be more motivated. Now, the 250 to 300,000 range is still showing solid activity, but slower conversion. And the luxury segment, which is above 500K, that requires more patience and a completely different strategy, which I'll get into in just a minute. But if you're selling a home that is $300,000 to $400,000 price range, or if you're a buyer shopping in that price point, you're in the most competitive and active segment of the Citrus County market right here, right now. So let me break down what that 6.5% mortgage means for both sides. For buyers, your monthly payment is significantly more affordable than it was just a year or two ago. You've got better purchasing power restored, and it's easier to be qualified. And you also have an opportunity to lock in these lower rates before they potentially tick back up. Just to give you some context, on a $350,000 home, the difference between a 7.5% rate and a 6.5% rate is about $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year, folks, and that's real money. For sellers, that lock-in effect that's been holding you back, it's finally easing. More homeowners are willing now to move. We're expecting increased inventory because of this, and you've got a better, more qualified buyer pool to draw from. Economists are predicting rates will stay at the 6 to 6.5% range throughout the spring. So if you've been waiting for the perfect time, this might be as good as it's going to get. So don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Now, I want to give you a reality check about the luxury market because it operates under completely different rules. Take this example. A gorgeous 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath waterfront property in Homosassa listed just under $1 million. Beautiful home, great location, and it's been on the market for over 156 days. This isn't unusual. Properties above $500,000 face a much smaller buyer pool and require extended marketing timelines. In January, we saw only limited sales activity in this segment, with most properties averaging well over 100 days on market. If you're selling in this price range, you need 4 things: competitive pricing from day one, not testing the market, professional high-end marketing, patience, and flexibility in negotiations. Because here's the harsh truth. Overprice your luxury home, and you could easily be looking at 200 plus days on the market. That's 7 months of carrying costs, stress, and watching the market. And just a quick note before we continue. If you're finding this information helpful and you're thinking about making a move in the Citrus County real estate market, I'd love to help. I live locally and I've been a licensed real estate agent for 25 years, so I know this market inside and out. My contact information is in the description below, and otherwise, let's keep going. And now I'm on to the community spotlight section of this month's video. Let me show you what's happening in a specific community, starting with Black Diamond Ranch, which is one of our premier golf communities in Citrus County. Right now, there are 15 available listings ranging from $369,000 all the way up to $1.5 million. In January, we saw 4 new contracts and 3 successful closings. The average days on market in there for sold homes was 116 days. But here's what's really interesting. The contract times varied wildly. Some well-priced properties secured contracts in just 21 days, and others took 105 days. And there's one property that's been sitting for over 255 days. That's the difference between pricing it right and pricing it wrong. Same community, totally different outcomes. Now, let's take a look at Sugarmill Woods. This is textbook example of high inventory, and that community is solidly in a buyer's market. There are 134 homes for sale in Sugarmill Woods. Inventory has increased to an almost 8-month supply of homes, which is up from a 5-month supply back in August of 2025. 24 homes went under contract in January, and here's my favorite statistic there. A $465,000 property secured a contract in only 10 days. 10 days at $465,000. That proves that buyers are ready to act decisively when they recognize value, regardless of the price point. 18 homes sold in January with an average day on market to sell of 104 days, and the most active range, you guessed it, that's at $300,000 to $400,000 price range. That's your sweet spot in Sugarmill Woods. All right, so if you're a buyer watching this, here's your game plan. Number 1, take advantage of these low rates. This is the best rate environment we've had in 3 years. Get your pre-approval now, lock it in before any potential increases. Number 2, focus on the $300,000 to $400,000 price range if it fits your budget. You will have the highest number of inventory selection. The most competition means that sellers are motivated, and you've got the best value and availability. Number 3, be prepared to move fast because well-priced homes are getting contracts in 10 to 21 days. Have your financing ready, schedule your showings immediately, and work with an agent who can act quickly. Number 4, look for value in properties with longer days on the market. Homes that are sitting over 90 days often have motivated sellers who are more open to negotiation. Just make sure the price is justified by doing your recent comparable sales. Bottom line, this is genuinely a favorable time to be a buyer in Citrus County. Don't let analysis paralysis cost you the right home. And if you're thinking about selling, listen up because this is critical. Pricing it right from day one. The data is crystal clear, 60 to 90 days on market when priced correctly versus 150 to 255 plus days for overpriced homes. Your first impression is everything. You don't get a second chance. Know your price point reality. If you're in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, you're in the fastest moving segment of the market right now. $250 to $350, you have to be patient and plan for 90 days. $500,000 and up, you need extended timelines and aggressive marketing. Consider your timing. With mortgage rates stabilizing, more buyers are qualifying. That lock-in effect is easing, and the spring market is coming, which means there'll be more inventory and more competition. So if you're thinking about selling anyway, acting now could give you that advantage. And highlight your home's value and condition. Buyers are educated and selective. Professional photos aren't optional anymore, they're essential. Minor updates can significantly impact both your speed of your sale and your sale price. And here's my critical warning. Overpricing can result in 5 months or more on this market. Your listing becomes stale and you'll eventually have to reduce the price anyway, but now there's a stigma attached to it. Every buyer who looks at your listing sees, oh, this has been sitting for 4 months. Something must be wrong with it. So price it right initially. So where is the market headed? Here's what I'm expecting over the next 3 months. Continued rate stabilization around 6 to 6.5%. Increased inventory as that lock-in effect continues to fade. Spring buying season activity surge, and this is predictable every year. And more balanced buyer-seller market dynamics, and a slight uptick in competition for well-priced homes. For buyers, you need to act before the spring competition increases and before inventory floods the market with more choices, potentially driving up prices on the good properties. And for sellers, list now before the inventory surge dilutes buyer attention across more options. And for everyone, these favorable rates are creating movements. Don't wait for perfect conditions that may never materialize. The next 90 days are going to set the tone for the entire spring and summer market. The data that I'm seeing right now suggests genuine opportunities for both buyers and sellers, but timing matters. All right, let's wrap this up. Here are your key takeaways. Inventory is adequate but tightening in desirable communities. Healthy absorption is happening. Pricing is absolutely critical for sellers. The data doesn't lie. Well-priced homes move fast and overpriced homes sit. Rates are the best we've seen in 3 years. Genuine opportunity for buyers to restore purchasing power. Speed. Well-priced homes are securing contracts in 10 to 60 days, depending on the price point, and buyer demand exists, but only for properly priced properties. And strategy. Success requires accurate data, realistic expectations, and good timing. Emotional decisions will cost you money in this market. Look, every property and every situation is unique. This video gives you the market overview, but if you want a personalized analysis, what your home is worth right now, what's happening in your specific neighborhood, what strategy makes sense for your situation, just reach out to me. My contact info is right here on the screen and it's in the description below, and I will respond to you personally. No obligation, just good information to help you make the best decision. And if you found this video and information valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for next month's update, and share this with anyone you know who's thinking about buying or selling in Citrus County. Be sure to check out some of my other videos on the channel, including market updates for Ocala and Denellen, and drop your questions in the comments below. I read and I will respond. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next month when we dive deeper into another neighborhood, analyze spring market momentum, and explore financing strategies for different buyer profiles. So until then, make informed decisions, and I'll talk to you soon.